Hey everybody, it's Line Rider here, welcoming you to my Q&A session. About a week and a half ago, I opened up the submissions for this, and I'm surprised that over 30 people asked questions. Some of them were serious, some of them were funny, and now I'm here to answer these questions. Feel free to use this as a YTP source in the future. I'll most likely watch them and laugh at them, because that's the kind of person I am. So anyways, on with the questions. Moozy asks, favorite YTP? This is a really hard choice. I have two YTPs that I really like equally, and those are Chicken Pika's The Michael Rosen Rapid Snatch expansion, and the Plums Joker's Tim Rubs One Out. They're both really long videos that I just really enjoyed because they both had a lot of unique jokes that I would have never thought of, and I've never heard of them before. Chicken Pika's also had a really good sentence mixing that basically equaled Sire, which is really impressive in my opinion. And the Plums Joker's video didn't have as much sentence mixing, but it had a lot of effects as well, and I definitely laughed at a lot of them. Revolutionary Gamers asks, how did you first come across YTP? Well, about like 3, maybe 4 years ago, my brothers were just on YouTube and they were just looking up some SpongeBob stuff, and they found this SpongeBob YTP and they shared it with me, and I was just laughing out loud. It was hilarious. I think it was like the sky had a Ouija or something. I think it was that video. And then, mainly on YouTube, I just ignored YTPs for a while, until about a year ago, I remembered that there were YTPs when I started watching SpongeBob videos again, and so I started watching more YTPs. But then, in the description of one, I saw this really different YTP that had this guy named Michael Rosen, whoever he was. And so I clicked on it, and it was just hilarious. It was funnier than any of the other videos that I watched that day, and that's how I came across YTP. TSF Toothpaste asked, can we ask multiple questions? Yeah, sure, I guess. Number 2, who are some of your favorite newcomers? Well, first of all, I really like your videos. I especially appreciate that you use Windows Movie Maker and still make these funny videos that you do, and I appreciated our collab in June that we made. I like Fimrod. Fimrod's a really good one. Buzz Music 400 or something like that. He's not really a newcomer, but he's really underrated and he's awesome, as well as Elective Tool. Those are just 4 suggestions that I have. 3, do you remember the first YTP you ever saw? If so, what was it? As I just mentioned a bit ago, it was This Guy Had a Ouija, but the first Michael Rosen YTP I ever saw was, I think, by Root -16. I think it was Michael Gets in Really Big Trouble, and again, that was just cracked me up. Number 4, what's your favorite food or drink? For food, I enjoy the Italian varieties, but like warm Italian foods. Like, I like spaghetti and ravioli, pizza, especially pizza. I also like hot dogs, and I like varieties of sweets like ice cream and cookies, as well as pierogies, which is quite a bit different from the rest of those. Drinks, I like soda. I like natural juices as well as just juice cocktails as well. But probably my favorite type of juice would be cranberry, and my favorite type of soda is cream soda. Number 5, what's your least favorite part about making videos? At the end of the day, it's just I have an idea in my head that I want to get out, especially when it comes to visual effects, and it just takes so long to do them. It's really annoying at times, just something that seems really simple and you have to work on it a lot, especially with the Sony video editing programs. How, especially the pan and crop, I really dislike, because you have to move the camera and not just moving the object. And are you about the swag? No. Wildcat Girl Meow asks, unicorns or dragons? I'd probably have to say dragons for the fact that they can breathe fire and they don't look as girly. What Versus team are you on? I know you're there, I have proof. Yes, I do watch Versus. I'm an avid fan of Versus, and I am on Team Jep Squad. I've always been on Team Jep Squad. Even when Josh Jepson isn't playing in a game, I always go for whoever isn't attacking toucans. I mean, I like attacking toucans and all, but I don't know, I like seeing him lose because his rages are funnier. Which is your favorite out of plums and apple, raisins, chocolate cake, puffed wheat, tin peach syrup, thick cooking oil, fat banana, milk, sugar, tomato, matzo brie, pickled new green cucumbers, green tomato chutney, gooseberry jam, apricot jam, a hamburger, and pizza. As I mentioned before, I like pizza, so pizza's probably my favorite, and with a close second probably being chocolate cake. If there's one of them I really dislike is hamburgers, just because, I don't know, I don't like the beef patties as much. I asked myself, what's your actual least favorite song on the radio, which you said was by Jason Derulo? It's Trumpets. I hate that song because I've never been a fan of Jason Derulo songs in general for their messages, but this one in particular, it's catchy but in a bad way. It doesn't even have trumpets in it when the name of the song is Trumpets. Like, who overlooked that one? And it's really awful. I always turn off the radio whenever that song comes up. Relatedly, what are some of your favorite and least favorite pop songs? For favorite songs, my favorite song currently is Honey I'm Good, because it's just so upbeat, good message. I like Uptown Funk and Shut Up and Dance because they're also really upbeat and they have a decent enough message. I like Renegades because it has a good message. A lot of people dislike it because it's boring, but I actually find it entertaining. And I also like Little Lion Man by Mumford & Sons because it has a really good message and has a lot of good instruments as well in it. Least favorite pop songs, I'd probably say all Jason Derulo songs. That song by Ellie Goulding, Love Me Like You Do. Again, terrible message. And for whatever reason, I don't like See You Again because I think the chorus of See You Again is disappointing. Like, if it were just the verses, then I would really, really enjoy it. But the chorus is just such a letdown. Sorry, I had to get that out there. Dr. Hotel Mario asks, skipping the first question because I felt it was too personal. Number 2, is YTP art? I think it is. I mean, it's expressing your own feelings, whether they're good or bad. It definitely takes a lot of effort to make especially good YTPs, and I know that from experience, and I've seen a lot of really good YTPs that I think are art, maybe even more of art than the original sources, especially when it comes to like Peppa Pig and stupid things like that. Favorite YTPs, as I already mentioned, probably Michael Rosen's Rapid Snatch expansion and Plum's Joker, Tim Rubs One Out, as well as for non-Rosen community YTPs. Well, I like Telstar Logistics. I like the Thomas and Friends YTPs, those crack me up. I like a lot of the YTPs that have to do with SpongeBob's Christmas special, those are really good. Number 4, do you have a narrow urethra? Let me check. No. As far as I know, I'm doing pretty good in there. Number 5, favorite video games. I do not like T or M-rated video games. I want more of those. I like Mario games, I like Smash Bros. For PlayStation, I like Little Big Planet. That's a big one. You can play and create your own levels and share them with the community, and it's just really, really good. I really enjoy it, especially the latest one, Little Big Planet 3. Skywire asks, what is your favorite source except for the wondrous Mick? I would probably have to say Grand Illusions. There are just so many joke opportunities. He's another, like, really animated source. Though a problem that I'd have with this is that I'd have to download more videos. I'm not familiar with them. That's also a reason why I don't use black background Michael Rosen videos as much, is because I'm not familiar with them. I'm much more familiar with the white background, which is why you see more of those from me. Favorite YTP by myself? I would probably have to say Faff Mr. Cox, actually, because I just found a lot of the jokes in it funny. I liked a lot of the effects that I used. It took like almost 2 months, though I was working on other stuff as well. What's the square root of 203? I actually have a calculator right here, and probably it's around 14 and a quarter, 14.2478-ish. Number 4, have you found any rare peeps? I had to look this up because I've never seen that meme, so no, I haven't found any. Did you have too many aquaria? No, but I did have too many aquariums. Dave K asks, 1, how are you today? I'm doing pretty good. I'm just recording this Q&A, which is really getting it out of the way, which I'm glad. Number 2, how many lines can you ride? Depends on what kind of line and what kind of mood I'm in. Because if it's just a normal average line, I could probably only ride 1. If you're talking about paper lines, I could probably do like 11 or 12 at once. If I'm sad though, those numbers probably have. Speaking of which, how did you come up with Line Rider? I was really into the game Line Rider on the... I think there's just a website of it where you draw a line and the little guy in the sled comes around. And then later, I saw in a store Line Rider 2 Unbound, and I remembered that I really liked that game Line Rider, and so I got it. And Line Rider 2 Unbound is actually where my avatar and intro music comes from, not the original Line Rider. And when I was making my PS3 username, obviously Line Rider was too simple of a name, it was already taken. And so I decided, hey, let's make it Leet, and it worked. And I really like how every other letter is a number when it is turned into Leet. Number 4, can you do an impression of Rosen? This is probably my best one. When I was 6, I ate a bag of plums. Number 5, don't mean to alarm you, but what's that behind you? Oh god, is there something behind me? Oh shit. Oh, sorry about that. There is nothing behind me, bitch. Daymag Jr. asks, describe your genitalia using a Michael Rosen quote that isn't nice. Probably have to say, in the mouth, it was lovely. Connor McCarthy asked, did you slack off and play Line Rider in school like I did? No, I'm actually pretty good in school. I have really good grades. I mean, I'm not going to say what grades I have because I don't want to brag, and like, I'm not sure if the types of grades would apply to other countries. What was the best Line Rider creation you've made? Probably something in Line Rider 2 Unbound where I actually put some work into the scenery, and it featured 2 places where he broke off his sled and then at a later point re-grabbed it again, which at the time I was really obsessed with, and I'm still really proud of it to this day. Number 3, would you ever consider making a Michael Rosen based Line Rider map, possibly using his voice clips while the Line Rider dude moves through the level? First of all, the Line Rider dude is called Bosch, just to clear everything up. That's why I call it the Bosch render, because that's what's in the avatar. But, maybe. I'm not as into Line Rider as I was in the past. Probably not anytime soon. If I got back into Line Rider, I might, but yeah, not soon. John Rohan asks, first thing, what do you do when you see nuclear bomb going down behind you? I probably run as fast as possible, or on a more depressing note, I'd probably just say, going to kill me anyways, why waste energy? Rosen Edits asks, number 1, what is your favorite YTP which you have created? Again, it's Fat Mr. Cox, because I liked all the jokes and effects that I used that are completely different from my normal type of YTP making. Number 2, how would you react if Michael Rosen died? I'd probably be really sad, but then I'd make a YTP of it, like use the sad music and warp it all like I did with Faulty Road Dude retiring. Number 3, what's the meaning of life? Chocolate cake. Number 4, are you working on any different sources at the moment? Yes, plenty. I'm working on a Chocolate Click Q&A YTP. I'm working on Peppa Pig, as well as that David Mitchell source that Fimrod used. I'm working on the collab entry for Mark Sabine and Friends, so I'm using a lot of University of Nottingham sources. I'm also really interested in using the Grand Illusions, which I've only, of course, used the violin video, which is, I really like that video. Number 5, did you just fart? I don't smell anything. No. Live and Learn 789 asks, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? I actually remember this. Like, this was always a question that went around, but I actually looked this up. It's somewhere around just above 360, but I never just lick it. I always, like, bite it, because licking it would take forever. Turkey Raptor 203 asks, how many bananas can you stick up your butt? Depends on how determined I am. Usually it's just 1, but on a good day I can get 3, sometimes 4. CMC10 asks, which is better, plums or cake? Probably have to say cake, just because it's plums, I don't know. Just not my kind of thing. I've tried them before, I just don't like how they taste. Cheese Pie with Chips asks, 1, Snans, Sus, or Josh? Probably Sus, because there was one video that I really just laughed out loud at a Sus joke. It was a SpongeBob YTP. I think it was by I don't remember who it was by. Number 2, on a scale of 7 3/4 to 203, what's the worst daydream that you had last night? You can't have daydreams in the night. Number 3, what don't they eat in Holland? Hopefully tulips. Number 5, what TV shows do you watch, if any? I actually don't watch many TV shows. Sometimes I watch Castle if my family's watching it too, but I don't actively watch anything. Number 6, did you notice I missed 4? Actually, yes, I did, because I'm saying the numbers of them. Nate Jordan asks, is Queen Juliana a fat banana? I don't think so. That would be kind of mean. That bloke over there, Pat Patterson, asks, do you have any of Michael Rosen's books? No, but we used to have. We're going on a bear hunt. Number 2, did you know that the video Shram and Sheddle is titled as Shram and Sheddle in the book, but is listed in the book's contents as Shram and Shreddle? No, that's pretty interesting how they would mix up the spellings of all of that. And Connor McCarthy asks a follow-up question. Did you also know that a bag of plums was written in print as a bag of rotten plums? I actually did know this one. I don't know how I knew it. I guess I was at some point told because, I don't know, someone edited the word rotten from Tomato 1 in front of plums, and then they put a little annotation and said that's actually how it was in the book. Number 3, one word to describe the Rosen community. Welcoming, for sure. I mean, I can't believe how many people liked my videos. I didn't even think I was that good, but I just kept making videos because people liked them, and otherwise I wouldn't be where I am right now. Number 4, is Snatch an instrument? No, but mayonnaise is. Number 6, did you realize that I skipped number 5? Again, I'm saying the numbers, so yeah, I did. Number 7, you're looking right now, aren't you? Yeah, sadly I am. Number 8, how did you discover the game Line Rider? I already talked about this earlier. Serial K86 asks, number 1, can you name some of your favorite video games? I already said earlier, I like the Mario games, Mario Kart, Smash Bros, Little Big Planet. Number 2, what music are you into? I like pop music, but I also like some, country music is probably my favorite genre, which is also why I like Honey I'm Good, because it's probably the most country song on the radio right now. Number 3, cupcakes or muffins? I'd probably have to say, I'd actually say muffins, because there are more varieties that I like. Cupcakes, I really only like the vanilla variety. Mad Dog Mervin asks, 1, do you remember the moment when you first watched a Michael Rosen YTP? I already mentioned this earlier. Yeah, I did. It was really, really hilarious. Number 2, would you say that moment was a life-defining moment? Yes, because at that point I realized I could make one of these. I'd seen a lot of hilarious videos, but I thought those would take months to make one video. But when I saw how funny Michael Rosen videos were, especially with how many source videos there are, I just thought I could actually do this, and that's why I became a Michael Rosen YTPer. Number 3, favorite quote you've ever sentence mixed? I'd probably say it was from my Michael Rosen marries Michael Rosen. You want a 1v1 me, mate? I'll show you who's the best Michael Rosen in the world. Activate the plum gun. That was probably the most sentence mixing I've taken into a sentence that I've ever done, especially the first part. Number 4, on a scale of spaghetti to concrete, what would you say your dog's name is most likely to be on a Friday morning? I don't have a dog, but if I did, I'd probably say spaghetti. Coderd asks, would you rather have Ainsley Harriott at your door rubbing the meat, or the abomination that is the Arnold Schwarzenegger baby as your son? Probably the first one, just because I could just lock her out. Sineku asks, 1, favorite poopers? Well, first of all, you're really funny with all your effects and stuff. I like Sire, Plums Joker, Chicken Pika, Root -16, Mad Moths, Fimrod especially. He's really underrated, but he's fantastic. Number 2, any different sources you want to have a go at it in the future? I already mentioned this earlier. The Grand Illusions, as well as some other cartoons, other people's Q&As. Number 3, how many lines of coke can you snort while riding a line? I'm not into coke, sorry. I mean, I like the fizzy kind, but not that kind. Vor Cannibal asks, want a yif? And Serial Kate corrects, no, it's, hey kid, want a yif? I had to look up what yif was, and it's something about furries, and no, just no. Shalo and Friends asks, what inspired you to start creating YTPs? I already mentioned this somewhat earlier, but with Michael Rosen, I just thought I could make this type of video because it's just thinking of a story and making sentence mixing. I discovered that I'm much better at sentence mixing than just the other types of editing that there are. Not Quite Fish FPS asks, 1. How do you like your Shreks cooked? Medium rare, I guess. Put them in a burger. Pretty good. Number 2. What is your favorite part of your body? Have to say my eyes so I could watch all these lovely YTPs. I know that's a cliche answer, but I don't know. Furrow Software asks, will you make a YTP that both Tim and Michael are in? Meh. I'd probably just have a Tim or Michael cameo in the other source. Probably wouldn't have both of them because I don't have Sony Vegas, so I can't mask anything. So if I were to have a YTP that they were both in, it would probably be a story based, and I'd have to mask to get all their complex movements. For Tim anyway. MCVLO asks, hello, first of all, what would you say if Michael Rosen offered you sex in exchange for plums? No, first of all, because that's creepy. Second of all, I already mentioned earlier, I don't really like plums. Second of all, have a nice day. Oh, you too. Can Yans asks, 1. Which Rosen YTPer is the best sentence mixer? What's the funniest thing they sentence mixed Michael Rosen to say? Probably my favorite sentence is by Fimrod. It's like, would you shut your mouth and maybe, just maybe, then I'll clean my room. Stop, like, bitching about my Netflix subscription. Something along those lines in his YTP I clean. Number 2, the more Vaginex, the better? If that means more Michael Rosen, then yes. Number 3, who would win in a fight out of a Russian diplomat and Mad Moths? Probably the Russian diplomat because he actually knows what fighting's about. Chocolate Click asks, 1. What tips would you give to other YTPers? Focus extremely on sentence mixing. It will go a long way in the end. Having something that is really fluent, like I'm trying to improve ever so slowly. Sire's sentence mixing is fantastic, and I would strive you at least try to aim for that sort. To improve on sentence mixing, Root-16 has transcripts of Michael's videos that you can download. You basically just need to search up whatever consonants that you want. For the word hospital in my first YTP, I had to split it up because he never said it in any of the videos, to ha, spit, and ol, which I could all find. And also just have fun. If you don't want to make a certain type of video but you feel obligated to, then don't make it. It's really not worth your time if you're not enjoying it. Because YTPs is just, it should be fun for everyone. Number 2, what styles of YTP do you enjoy the most? I really like the sentence mixing ones, but I'm more of a short jokes, like short, quick types of jokes, more than a full-on story. I can't handle anything that goes on more than 2 minutes usually, like as one train of thought. Number 3, do you have an interest in animation also? I guess somewhat, but not nearly as much as you did with your Faulty Row Dude animation. That was hilarious. I love that. Number 4, do you shut up and dance regularly? Only when Shut Up and Dance is on the radio. The Retnet asks, what's the highest amount of plums you had in your butt? Since plums, I'd say, are a bit smaller than bananas. What was that one day? I think I had like 5 or so in there. It was a pain to get them out. I like screamed because I'm a little girl. And finally, Babchak asks, how do you sentence mix Michael so well? It's like you can make him say anything. As I just explained, the transcripts help a lot. So basically, you want to think of what you want him to say. In the transcripts, you want to search for the words that you want. Even if you find something that is a perfect match, if it doesn't sound right, then don't use it. Always search until you find something that sounds right, and then that will be your best option, because a lot of people like it. And with transcripts, it's much easier to find something that sounds right. It's a lot quicker. Number 2, I'm gonna skip for now. Number 3, what other sources have you thought about pooping besides Michael? I've already mentioned this a lot. The Grand Illusions, other cartoons. I actually had a random thought about YTPing Sid the Science Kid, but that's before I got interested in Michael Rosen. That video would have a lot more visual effects. That's one thing I noticed. When I'm making a video that's not Michael Rosen, I'm not familiar with the sources, so unless I make or get a transcript, I usually do visual-based jokes. So that's why for Faf Mr. Cox, I I really didn't have that many sentence mix jokes because, I mean, I guess I somewhat transcripted it, but I just wasn't as familiar with the source material. And finally, did you reach 1K subs yet? No, I did not reach 1K subs yet, but I am halfway there. This is also a video to celebrate my 500 sub achievement. So thank you all, my subscribers, for helping me get to 500 subscribers. I'm really grateful. I never ever thought I would get this far ever. And so I'm halfway up to 1,000. And I always enjoy when the numbers of my achievements change in how many digits they are, because 200 is much less different from 100 than 1,000. Adding another 0, I will be really excited if that ever happens. So thank you all for listening to my Q&A. I know this has been a really long video, but feel free to make a YTP of it if you want. And yeah, see you guys later.
Scrunch it all together, and there's the crumbly bits and the sticky bits, and it's all gonna go in there. Yeah, belly, belly, belly.